Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be doing the 15 weird questions tag, and Lindsay Ray kind of tagged everyone in her video, so I was tagged by Lindsay Ray, and I will leave a link down in the description to her video. So question number 1 is, what is a nickname that only your family calls you? Now, my family actually isn't too big on nicknames, so there isn't really a nickname that everyone in my family calls me. The closest that I have most of the time is my grandma occasionally referring to me as my middle name. However, my dad does have one distinct nickname that he has had for me for the last 21 years, and that is Mess, which I think is kind of ironic because even though I am a very cluttered, messy person, I haven't always been this way. I didn't start being a really cluttered person until I was in high school, so I feel like he was just foreshadowing the inevitable with that name. But yeah, he's always called me Mess, and he's always referred to my room as the pit, even when it wasn't a messy room. Question number 2 is, what is a weird habit of yours? And even though I have a ton of really random weird habits, it took me a while to figure out what one to talk about, but today inspiration struck. So when I'm driving and I get to a light where I'm gonna turn, I always pay attention to my blinker and whether or not the tempo of my blinker matches up with the song that I'm listening to. And I pretty much do this at every single light that I turn at. I am always paying attention to whether or not my turn signal is synced up with the song, and 99.9% of the time it's not. One single solitary time I found a song that had the exact same tempo as my turn signal, and I can't remember what it is now. But recently the closest that I found is Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars. That one was like 2 clicks faster, but yeah, I'm still searching for the perfect tempo to match my turn signal. So question number 3 is, do you have any weird phobias? And I don't consider any of my phobias weird, but I guess they could be to some people. My biggest fear is large birds and just birds in general, but specifically ostriches, emus, turkeys, chickens, peacocks, those type of birds. They just freak me out. Other than that though, I have some pretty standard phobias. I'm afraid of clowns, and I'm really afraid of spiders and just insects in general. Question number 4 is, what's a song that you secretly love to blast and belt when you're alone? And in general, I'm pretty open about the music that I listen to. I don't have that many guilty pleasure songs. If I like it, I like it. I might feel a little guilty about it, but I'm not going to be secretive about it. But there is one artist that I've enjoyed for a couple of years now, and I don't like to talk about the fact that I kind of like them, and that is One Direction. So yeah, my favorite songs by them are Kiss You and Heart Attack, and my favorite members were Zayn and Louis, but now I guess just Louis. But yeah, again, I'm not a hardcore fan of the band by any stretch of the imagination. I just like 5 or 6 songs by them. Also, fun fact, they're in my iTunes as Overdose, so that no one who goes through my iTunes knows that I have One Direction on there. Get it? Overdose, One Direction, OD. I tried to be clever with it. Question number 5 is, what is one of your biggest pet peeves? And I've talked about this a few times, but it's bad grammar. Bad grammar is my number 1 all-time biggest pet peeve. However, another really major annoyance for me is people that don't pay attention to their surroundings, because they're always in your way. They're always driving a little bit too slow or standing right in the exact spot you need to go, and they're totally oblivious, and it's so annoying, and then you have to shove past them and say "excuse me" really loudly, and it's just, pay attention to your surroundings. Question number 6 is, what is one of your nervous habits? And the only one that I can really think of is bouncing my leg up and down when I'm sitting down, but I mean, I don't really have any nervous habits other than just sitting and shaking in fear. Question number 7 is, what side of the bed do you sleep on? And I am in a dorm, so I sleep on a twin bed, which means that there's really only one place to sleep on the bed. However, I do have a queen-sized bed at home, and I pretty much just starfish in the middle of the bed because I can. Question number 8 is, what was your first stuffed animal and what was its name? I had a lot of stuffed animals when I was younger, and I still do have a lot of stuffed animals, so I'm not sure what exactly my first one was. The most distinct memory I have is I had a Raggedy Ann for a long time when I was little. I don't know how early I got it, but her name was Raggy. Real original. And I also had this strange obsession with naming things Greta. There's still this statue of a little girl outside my grandparents' house that's named Greta, because I named it that when I was really little. However, even though I can't remember my first stuffed animal, there is one stuffed animal that I've had for a really long time. I got him when I was like 8, I think, and I still have him, and he's here with me. And this is my little puppy named Clay. He's named after Clay Aiken, because I loved Clay Aiken. As you can see, he's from Build-A-Bear, and like I said, I got him when I was, I think 8, maybe 9, so he's now 12 or 13, which just seems really old. But he was always my favorite. I always traveled with him. I don't really get to travel with him now because I fly, but yep, he's always here with me. Question number 9 is, what drink do you always get at Starbucks? And this really depends on whether I'm in the mood for something cold or something hot. If I'm in the mood for something hot, 99.9% of the time, I get a peppermint mocha. That other 0.1% of the time is when I get a normal cafe mocha. But basically, it's almost always peppermint mocha. And if I'm in the mood for something cold, this one varies a little bit more. Lately, I've been really enjoying the s'mores frappuccino and the cupcake frappuccino. However, before those, I would typically just get a mocha frappuccino. Question number 10 is, what is a beauty rule that you preach but don't practice? And honestly, I don't really preach any beauty rules because I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So, moving on. Question number 11 is, which way do you face in the shower? And I face away from the water. I really don't understand the people who can actually face the water. That just is a foreign concept to my brain that doesn't make any sense. Question number 12 is, do you have any weird body skills? And no, not really. However, I am double jointed, if that counts. It's especially visible on my pointer finger because I can do this really easily. It's a little bit harder with the rest of my fingers, but the only ones that aren't are my thumbs and my middle fingers. Question number 13 is, favorite comfort food that's bad for you but you love it anyways. Even though I'm a big fan of tons of different cuisines, my comfort food is always going to be like typical American cuisine. I love burgers, I love chicken tenders with honey mustard, and I love pepperoni pizza. And those 3 are definitely my ultimate comfort foods. My parents used to get really annoyed with me because we would go to like lots of different restaurants and I would always get their chicken tenders there, and they were like, why do you even have an opinion on which restaurant we go to? You're just gonna get chicken tenders. But I am currently like a chicken tender expert. I know which places have good chicken tenders and which ones don't. And I also know where the good honey mustard is. So if you need to know what chicken tenders and honey mustard are good, let me know and I can tell you. But one of my personal favorite fast food chicken tender places is Sonic. I will get their chicken tender dinner any day of the week. It's so good. I love it. Question number 14 is a phrase or exclamation that you always say. And I don't really have any specific phrase or exclamation that I use all the time. However, I do tend to make a lot of like pop culture references whenever I'm talking, especially with Sarah because we like a lot of the same TV shows and movies. So a lot of the times we will joke around and like reference the TV shows, like especially Drag Race, as you saw in some of the videos that I made with her. We also do a lot of like Parks and Rec and Office jokes because those are also 2 of our favorite shows. It's just a lot of references to quotes in our favorite shows and movies. One of my favorites is from Drag Race, and it's where Bianca Del Rio says, "Calm down, Beyonce." And whenever Sarah gets a little freaked out, I tell her to calm down, Beyonce, and it usually works. And finally, question number 15 is time to sleep. What are you actually wearing? And I really like to really burrow into the covers and be like completely underneath my comforter and my blankets. And I also tend to be really warm when I sleep. So I typically just wear like basketball shorts and a tank top because if I wear anything with sleeves, I get too warm. And I also have to have my hair pulled back when I sleep. Like if I don't have my hair pulled back in either a top knot or a ponytail, I just get too warm if my hair's down. So that was the 15 weird questions tag. If you want to do this tag, feel free to do it and say that I tagged you. As always, I will leave links down in the description to my blog, Twitter, and Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!